Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Draft Show, day 2. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, of course, we have Neil. Neil, what's up, man?
Not much. It's been a nice, relaxing day. How about you?
I can't say it's been that relaxing, but it's been a good day. It's been a good day.
You know, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of learning about some college and high school kids who I haven't heard of before today. But it's been fun to read about them. It has been. Like I've actually enjoyed looking at some of these guys we drafted are. It was fun.
Right. And like you said, day 1, you know a lot of names, especially the first pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're talking about. When it goes to day 2, and tomorrow's gonna be day 3, but day 2, talking round 3 through 10. Yeah, it's a lot of. So, what did this guy say about this person? And that's what I know about them, and that's what we're gonna relate to you today.
Yeah.
But we went live yesterday through the entire draft. We weren't gonna do that today. There's no point of it. But yeah, I figured it's a good time to just kind of recap it, right? I mean, it all happened. We were able to look a little deeper into the guys that were drafted and such. So let's talk about these guys. And before we do that, of course, let you guys know BetOnline is your number 1 source for all your sports betting needs this season, from baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that is BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online, the game starts here. So, Neil, I guess let's open this up. Just maybe like your reaction to the entire day 2 draft. What maybe stood out to you?
It's hard because there's not a whole lot that stood out because it's a very Ben Sherrington style draft. They're not really concerned. I think so. Yeah, I don't think. I think when you go back, I think it's a lot of. They go a little more prep this year, but they are really targeting guys who aren't really high on the big prospect lists. But they're guys who have fallen because of certain things. Like there's a lot of guys here who have fallen because of injury or were highly touted but had a really bad year. And so there's definitely a lot. I think that was really similar to what we saw last year where they're going after guys like Carlson Reed, guys like that where, they're not the highest ranked, but there are things that the Pirates really like. And I think there are a lot of the pitchers we picked today fit that mold.
Yeah, that is actually how I took it. Now, you say very Charrington-esque. What lets me away from that a little bit is the amount of prep players that were taken. I mean, it's now first round is a little bit different, but there's always been outside of Tamar Johnson, college guy.
Yeah.
Right? Someone who's close. So, when the first round, Connor Griffin went this time around, being the high school kid. And then he took another high school kid. And then another high school kid. That was a little different to me. And then today, I felt like, again, talking a very Sherrington type of draft, I felt like, okay, they're going to hammer college arms. And, I mean, they got some for sure, but I thought it was a pretty good mixture of players, whether it was a prep bat, prep arm, college arm. I felt it was a good mixture today. But my biggest takeaway is exactly what you said. It seems as if they felt we're going to target guys that aren't being valued there. They were at one point, and now they're not. And let's capitalize on that. And I don't really know if that's that bad of a strategy, to be honest.
No.
I mean, I look at it this way. Round 1, round 2, round 3, we know how hit and miss prospects are, and those guys have a solid chance to make the majors per se. But, as you're going later rounds, especially talk about round 7, round 8, and round 9, chances are these guys aren't going to make it. Is this guy going to be maybe a reliever for you, right? Potentially, like at best, like a utility guy. So it seems as if let's get guys that were once thought of first round picks, right? Maybe a second or third round pick, get him up now because of an injury or such. Or, this guy's not looked at too well, but he has some power. There's a tool there. Let's target that. So I didn't really hate the draft.
No, I think it was a perfectly fine draft. Like, it wasn't like knock your socks off like Cleveland's was. I think Cleveland's had a little bit of like a unique, but they with their slot money. But no, I've been pretty content. Like, and I trust them to find those college pitchers that have the tools that they like. When you look at previous drafts and you see guys like Barco and Harrington and Reed and Muth, is it Muth? I don't forget how they're pronounced. Meath. That's it. Yeah, Meath. Like, they know what they like. They know what they like in their pitchers. Levi Sterling yesterday, very, very Pirates pick, tall, soft tossing lefty with a slider and big extension. Like, that is what they like to do. So I'm content with it. I really like Ager. I like Gavin Adams. I even like Connor Wietgrefe. Like, I think those are guys who fit the Pirates mold from what I've read.
Yeah. Speaking of that, something you're going to definitely pick up on, right? And you talk about Charrington type. I mean, this is definitely the Pirates' MO. I feel like every pitcher they drafted, you hear whatever the fastball is, and then it's got a really good slider.
Yeah.
Like, yep, Pirate.
I mean, and I don't hate it. The sliders are good. Again, I the one thing I trust this organization to do at this point is to get arms in that they like. Now it's about the hitters, but I actually think we got some fun hitters. Connor Griffin's the best one, but there are a couple bats I actually really like that we got.
Yeah, I agree. So why don't we do this then? Why don't we kind of go down, the draft and talk about these guys? So Pirates' first pick today, right, in the third round was Josh Hartle, right? The big 6'5" pitcher, lefty from Wake Forest. To me, this kind of screams as he's projectable, right? But he has 4 pitches. Everything's just about average. Like, nothing stands out. But this kind of screams like Pirates are going again. Like, they've done well developing. I feel like this is a solid pick for them. Again, it is a lefty, really good slider, but has 4 pitches that are there. Again, they're kind of average. Maybe the Pirates see something they can bring out of him. You know, he was the 70th ranked on Pipeline, but yeah, like a solid pick there.
Yeah, it was like a little safe for me. I like it better when they take pitchers like who have like crazier stuff and like worse numbers.
Sure,
but I mean, I can't really complain about getting a guy like Hartle in round 3. Think he's a first round, almost a first round pick out of high school. Like he was really good at Wake Forest this year. He can top out at 94. I bet they can get like a couple more miles an hour on his fastball as he gets into the majors. I'm more interested in his cutter. I think his cutter looks really fun.
And it seemed as if he fell in love with that cutter this year also, which was a dangerous pitch. So right, like, I mean, he has a fastball, slider, cutter, changeup. Grades out as good control, which, I mean, he did throw a lot of strikes, didn't walk too many guys. So again, like, this is an intriguing pick, but I think, like you said, like it's definitely safe. This is a guy who probably has a pretty high floor. I'm okay with it. It. Like, again, it's another arm. It's a college arm. It's going to be close. We see the arms that are in this system right now. I like it.
Yeah, no, and there's nothing wrong with like safe arms that, like, you're right. And they probably do see pitches that they can draw out of, like the cutter, maybe the changeup, but like it's a perfectly fine pick. And I can't imagine Griffin went underslot. So if that's like an underslot pick they needed to save some money and still get a guy like Hartle, I think that's pretty good. It's hard to like judge a lot of these picks until you see where the slot money comes in.
Yeah, fair.
But I think it's fine. I'm pretty happy with Hartle.
Same. Then the next pick, which maybe this falls into like what you're trying to say as well, because this was like they were doing pretty well as far as like the rankings or the drafting. Like, there wasn't too many reaches. It seemed, as someone put here, they thought they were doing about best player available, and so far, kind of felt that way. You know, at least close to it. Excuse me. This time in the 4th round, they picked Eddie Reinders, the shortstop, probably going to be a third baseman, right from high school. The kid's built 6'2", 195. It seems with him, he's going to be a power bat. Right?
Yeah.
The hit tool's behind, but he's athletic. I like this pick. Again, as far as rankings go, like I don't think Baseball America even had him on a ranking. Pipeline had him 229. So like he wasn't viewed in that way, but it seemed as if his stock was rising, at the beginning of the year. He improved his athleticism, his speed, such like that. But again, like the power as like a calling card for him almost. And again, like this is also another prep shortstop bat. So again, like to me, part of the interesting factor, another high school kid as far as a bat goes. This isn't really what they've done. There's going to be a lot of development, and especially in this kid, there's going to have to be a lot of development done to get him to be where, he could potentially be. And that's where I think we've all kind of feared, can the Pirates do that? And this draft is like going to tell us a lot about this developmental side of the organization.
Yeah, it really is going to have to do some heavy lifting there. I didn't really like this pick.
Okay.
I was not a fan. It was like, I feel like there could have been like higher rated, like prep guys. Like I really was hoping we could have gotten like Peyton Stovall, who the Reds picked at a couple picks later. I was okay if this was Connor Griffin, because Connor Griffin is just absurdly talented. I don't know if the Pirates right now are going to be able to fix this guy's lack of a hit tool. He'll I like the pop. I like adding more power into the system. I don't know if he's going to be able to stick. You know what I mean? Just with our development and the reach that he was.
Yeah. Look, trust me. I know what you mean. And that's been, I don't want to say fear, right? But that's certainly something that's in the back of my mind in this draft. So why, when we talked about like who are we wanting to see in the first round, I would love to have Connor Griffin. But like, do I want that to be the Pirates pick? Do I trust them? And again, like there's now 3 shortstops, middle infielders, potentially outfielders as well, right? 3 athletic hitters in the first, 5 picks? 6 picks? Yeah, 5 picks. 3 in the first 5 picks that are high school kids, high school bats. And again, do we trust them in developing him? I'm not there yet, but take that as like aside. I don't dislike the picks.
I'm not, at least nothing that I've read like makes me seem like the Eddie Reinders is going to be like, like Wyatt Sanford. Even if I didn't like that pick as much, like he has a lot more going for him. Or even like, even like when we draft, what's his name? Wow, we went, we went Levi Sterling. Like you could see what they were going for. I don't think Eddie Reinders is that guy, and I'm happy to be wrong. But he was my least favorite pick from today.
Okay, fair. And I mean, you can't argue too much of that. Again, he wasn't even rated on some of the sites, and Pipeline had him at 229. So in the 4th round, it seemed like a reach. But again, also, was that maybe we like this kid, this can save us some money?
Yeah, like if that's an underslot guy, then that makes sense. But yeah, well, I think we have to wait a week to really like find out about all this.
Right. So the next pick comes up, right? So in round 5, they go and they get Will Taylor. Now, this was like the epitome of everything we talked about. From Clemson, he's an outfielder, linked with Bubba Chandler, right? They both were committed to Clemson. Pirates were fortunate enough to get Bubba to sign with the Pirates and not go there. But Will Taylor had other ideas. He just said he was going to go to Clemson. He wanted to play football. And what a bad decision ended up for him. So, Bubba, if you're watching, see, good move. But like Will Taylor goes there, tears his ACL, has 2 surgeries, stops playing football, gets back to baseball, then breaks his wrist playing baseball. Like this guy is just injury after injury, but the talent, like he was coming out, like he was a 1st round talent.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing is that like he has the power and like he's been hindered by injuries, and I think that's why he fell, and I think that's why the Pirates like him. That's value there in a guy who was injured a lot. Hopefully, a lot of those football injuries don't come back in baseball. But I mean, I like that he is able to play center field. I like that he seems to have a good ability to get on base, and that is, I like picks where you were trying to find like that diamond in the rough and find tools that you like. And it might be a guy who might struggle with exit velocity, but I actually like this pick a lot.
I'm with you. Like, again, you're now in the 5th round, and it's not as if you're a 5th rounder, you can't make the majors. But if you think it's a crap shot for the 1st rounders, it's even more of a 5th rounder. So like, this is why I do like this pick. This was a guy who, it's funny because we harp on Ben Cherington because every time there's a former 1st round pick or former top prospect that's DFA'd, it's like, oh, he's a Pirate because Ben's going to scoop him up. But it's like the same mentality here in the draft. Like, he was a former 1st round talent due to injuries, more or less. It seems as if he has really fallen. But it's like, if he can recover from that, like you mentioned that the power's been zapped. If he can get that back, right? If they can work with him, maybe he just needs another year, from these injuries. And again, a broken wrist, that'll certainly hurt you as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they can develop him, right, and he can maybe get back on track. Yeah, like, you found your diamond in the rough. He was a 5th round pick, and like, they need outfilders.
Yes,
a college bat. So it's not like he has years to go to potentially get there. So it's like, I do like this pick with Will Taylor.
Yeah, no, I think he should be fun. I think a lot of it just depends on how much he's able to recover from those injuries. Like, he's lost some speed. You hope he can get it back as the knee heals up. You hope he can get some power back with the wrist. And I think it does speak to your point about, like, this is going to be a big test for our development team on the hitting side. Because if you can start converting Will Taylors into, actual real prospects, that's big for your major league team, and it helps you with trade bait too. Because I know the Pirates is like, we want to start pitching prospects because they don't really have hitting prospects to trade. It would be really cool if like they start converting Will Taylors into major league players.
Right. And so again, I guess that's why when I look at like the draft in totality right now, it is a big mix. Last year they went very pitcher heavy, and it turned out to work pretty damn good because a lot of those pitchers the past 2 years, a lot of those pitchers are in the system now, and they're doing well. They're able to turn them around and develop them. So like now with a big mixture of still having some pitchers come in that you like to add to the crop, but getting more bats in there, young and air quotes old, to come into the system. So, but you're right. Like, I think this draft is going to be very pivotal in understanding where this development is. They've had chances to develop. There's been a lot of college guys. They're going to get an influx of young guys now to take from the start, right? That no college coaching or hands are on these kids, right? They're taking them over from the high school and saying, you're a Pittsburgh Pirate. We are going to develop you. Let's find out what you can do with them. Because really, it's like outside of Tamar, there really hasn't been that opportunity.
No, not really. No, and yeah, it would be a big step up in terms of like, because something that matters a lot with trades is like farm system, like your reputation, how you develop around the big leagues. So like even the Dodgers and the Yankees and all those teams, like they have a leg up in trades because other teams perceive their prospects as like automatically better. And I think the Pirates are getting there with pitching, but yes, they need to catch up with the hitting thing. Cause like we keep hearing, when we see like a Pirates prospect tweeting account, they're always tweeting about the pitchers, never the hitters.
Right.
So I do like that we went more hitter this draft. We need hitters in the system badly. And I think Will Taylor is one of the better hitters that we drafted so far.
Absolutely. So let's go to the next one. So 6th round, Matt Ager from UC Santa Barbara. He's the righty, also pretty big, 6'6", 225. What was your thought with this one? You mentioned him before the show.
I like him. And I know Anthony Murphy was also raging about this guy, so I'm glad that we're in lockstep. Another slider guy.
Yeah,
55 graded
really
slider
good
from
slider.
MLB.com. No, I think he's a fun pick. He's not as fast throwing as you would like, but I think the fun stuff comes in his secondaries. I like his changeup. I like his slider. Those are the big ones. And the fastball, I think, could use some work, but I would like to see him throw it a little faster. But I like that he throws a lot. It seems like he throws a lot of strikes, and I like his slider a lot.
This seems like one of those picks. So this is like the anti. This is the pick you're more or less. I think you're talking about, like the anti Hartle. Like they went here. He's less safe, but also to the point of you're talking about, like why he fell. You know, he had a down year. He is a strike thrower. The walks came up. He had an oblique injury. That was back in November. So it's like, was the performance based because of the oblique? So it's like, you know what? Maybe you're finding some really good value here because maybe his stock fell because of that, or his stock fell. His delivery was all out of whack. Again, the Pirates been pretty damn successful in developing pitchers and getting the most out of them. Maybe they find something to say, you know what? Here's a tweak. Here's a tweak. We know he's got the talent. We can make this kid into a pretty damn good pitcher. And now this late, into the draft, 6th round, pick number 174, they got another one on their hands. He's got some really good pitches. And again, that slider looks really, really good. He throws pretty much everything for strikes. This is a pick I really do like.
Yeah, no, these are the types of picks where like you are able to develop pitchers kind of out of the blue. I like it a lot. And God help us, do we need pitchers with good fastball shape? Because we used to be really lacking in that category.
Yeah, unfortunately, we drafted another one in Paul Skeens, and we know how terrible he is.
Yeah, I can't believe we spent a number 1 pick on a guy with terrible fastball.
I know. It's a shame he's only starting the All-Star game tomorrow.
I'm so happy we can talk about it like that. That makes me it's great.
I know, right? I'll do this. So the next pick, 7th round, I'll let you say the name.
No, that's okay. You go for it.
Hey, Anthony Murphy, can you sound it out for us in the chat? So, yeah, Connor Wietgrefe.
That sounds about right.
Does that work for you?
Yeah. Listen, okay. You're talking to the skins guy, like
right.
Anything works.
And it's me. I'm terrible with names. But I heard it on TV 5 hours ago. Anthony says pass. So what do you think about him? So again, 6'2", 200 pounds, college guy, Minnesota.
I don't know too much about his pitches, but like the thing that stood out to me, because the Pirates before, they would take like last year, they specialized in taking a lot of guys with bad numbers, but with pitch stuff that they liked and like kind of putting them into their system. This guy had really good numbers in Minnesota this year. A 2.77 ERA in 78 innings, 74 strikeouts in 78 innings. Like the guy was even though he wasn't, he only gave up 1 home run last year. Wow. 1 home run. Like
6
I don't know too much about
hits, right? Is that what it was? 6 extra base hits in total? 1 home run?
I see one home run. I don't see extra base hits, but I believe you. That's good. But it's just like the Big Ten's not like an amazing conference, but pitching like that at the D1 level is still impressive. And so it's different, but I like it.
Yeah, this is another one I like. Again, he was outstanding in college. You're right, but like that's where Max Meyer came from, and you can view however you want, with Max Meyer. I know he's injured, but this is interesting to me. This is definitely a very interesting pick. And again, at number 7, I like it. I feel like, honestly, though, at this point in time, and it's funny how quickly we changed, but it's almost like any pitcher you see, you're just like, okay, well, even if I'm not totally sure on it, I trust the Pirates see something in there. Yeah. And regardless of that, there's still tools in all of them of what they have. But also we know they all possess the slider.
No, and that's, he has a slider. Yeah.
yes. He's got the slider as well. So
yeah. I mean, like, it seems like he really works fastball slider mostly. And so, like, you want him to develop, like, get a third pitch. But so there's high reliever risk there. But I don't mind. I don't even mind, like, filling your relief with back end draft picks either. Like, so if you get a productive Major League Baseball player from your round 7 guy, that's pretty good.
Exactly. That's where I'm at too. Like, there's reliever risk, but like, what's really the risk in his 7th round pick? He ends up being a reliever, which he could be a pretty decent reliever. You got a reliever, in the 7th round. Yeah. You need those too. But, he has potentially the arsenal to stay as a starter. And of course, they're going to treat him as a starter and bring him in as a starter and let him go as long as he can go. Mm-hmm. But it's like, at the end of the day, if you drafted a reliever in the 7th round, you got a Major League player in the 7th round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's not as big of like a reliever guy, like risk as say like Gavin Adams, but it was next. But like, I see the vision.
I see the vision. Well, let's talk about Gavin Adams because he was drafted next.
This is our Carlson Reed. This is our Carlson Reed from this year, I think. So and I really like that, like big fastball. And I mean, I think we got Carlson Reed was pitching out of the West Virginia bullpen when we drafted him, right? Am I making that up?
I think so.
And so, yeah, like, I think get them in Bradenton, you get them to Pirate City, and you start working with them like on this stuff. Like, I think having a guy with Adams' fastball is super fun. It hits 100, sits not for 90s. Like, I think he's I don't know sure how good he is, but I think he's fun. And I'm good for fun picks.
I'm with it too. So like the way I look at this also, and I know some people were, oh, this guy got Tommy John. Like, what are they doing wasting this pick and such? And I feel like, again, hey, it's a guy who's lost a little bit of value here, right? Mm-hmm. You're picking him up in the 8th round. Any person we talk after this point in time, especially, it's such a crapshoot. Like, they might not even be major leaguers. Is there something? Is there even one tool in there that you could play some part in the majors? And here's a guy who, like you said, like he could be a reliever. And again, so you're going to reliever in the 8th round. That's perfectly fine. But this is a guy who had some talent, and he's out for Tommy John. And he was I think the Nationals pick last year in the 11th round. As far as ratings go, he was picked, higher this year as well. Was going to go to Florida State, and that never happened because of the injury. So we never got to see how well he did, right, in a big time school and such. Like, that was robbed of us. That would have helped. But I like the value here more or less, right? Like, get them. And also people that are worried about the Tommy John, like I just point to, and this is not a similar case. This isn't a look what this person did, and that's why this person will also be good. But that's what Hunter Barco was. Like, Hunter Barco was in Florida. He had the Tommy John. He was out for a year, came back, and look what he's doing right now. So, like, don't laugh because someone has Tommy John. For the most part, everyone's getting Tommy John anyway. I look at this way and say, hey, you know what, Gavin Adams, you got it out the way.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, one Tommy, like, and I was going to say it's not big because it's a big surgery that takes a long, but one Tommy John does not hurt a pitcher all that much anymore in terms of like what they can do. When they get the second one, like after the second one, that's when you really start seeing the dip. But I wouldn't be scared off by someone just because they have Tommy John surgery, especially in the 8th round. Like at that point, you have to trust your evaluators and like, no, this is a pitcher. He has a good fastball. He has a good slider. We can make him into something here. That's kind of what these later rounds are about. If you're not able to like sign highly talented prep high schoolers over slot, like, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, 100%. That's really how I look at it. I mean, there is still risk. Like, he is injured. It's a major surgery. You don't know how he's coming back, so it's still unknown. But we talk about success rates. The success rate of Tommy John surgery these days is pretty damn successful.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't get scared off by it anymore. Back in the day, 20 years ago, someone gets Tommy John, you're cringing. Career's over. This is it. It sucks. You're going to do everything to avoid it. And now, and by no means, this is a touchy subject as well, because we're talking about the draft and such, but like there's people, there's kids that are trying to get the surgery, just elected for the surgery to have it before they get drafted, you know? And what I mean by that and say in the sense of like, it's my mindset of this is people might be fearing it. Like he has Tommy John. Oh my God, what a terrible pick. And I kind of look at it as say, he got the Tommy John out the way.
Yeah.
That's literally how I look at it. Like it's good. Like it's done. We don't have to worry about Tommy John probably now for the next 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to look at it. No, and again, like at this point, if you're just chasing one or two big tools that you like and that you feel like you can develop, that's what I want. That's what I want the Pirates to do here. Instead of chasing safe, boring, bad players, go get someone who can actually excite you and you can mold into who you want.
100%. That's what this pick is. And again, we're talking about an 8th rounder. If he comes in and he's throwing 100 miles an hour and he ends up being a back-end bullpen guy, you need those. You got one right here in the 8th round of the draft. Success.
Exactly. Yeah. So no problem there. One of my more favorite picks of today. Like it was kind of like I liked Taylor, I liked Ager, and I really liked Adams. Those are like my 3 like favorite from today.
Oh, my bad. You were recapping. I thought you were alluding to the next pick.
Oh, no, I was not.
Okay. Well, then let's get to the next pick. So Duce Gourson, he gets drafted. So he goes in the 9th round. Shortstop out of UCLA, 6 foot, 200 pounds. You know what? The thing with him is you go to Pipeline, they ranked the 158, which also talking about value, right? This was pick number 264. So he's ranked 258 with them. With Baseball America, oh God, I gotta pick it back up now. He was ranked much higher, I believe.
Okay.
Oh no, 231. So about the same. But you talk about hit tool, on base, probably gonna be a second baseman who can hit. Like, I don't know if this is a great comp, but I look at this as like he screams mini Adam Frazier to me.
Okay. That's why like I'm not terribly excited about him, just because it's hard for me to get excited about soft hitting middle infielders in the Pirates organization.
Right.
But no, I mean for a 9th round pick, this guy is pretty good for a college bat in the 9th round. Like you're right, he has a lot of good on base percentage abilities. Like he can barrel it up, but I just think he lacks a lot of power.
Yes.
So like you're looking at doubles power instead of like actual power. And so this is probably more along like those safe picks we were just talking about, which is fine. Like there's nothing wrong with a safe pick with a guy who can get on base and can play you solid defense. It's not an exciting pick like Adams was, you know what I mean?
100%. 100%. But it adds another influx. It's a college bat. It's another middle infielder. Does some things a little bit differently from the other guys. I mean, I look at this as like nothing excites you. And that's why I say about Adam Frazier. And of course, we know how I felt about Adam Frazier. He can hit, right? He can hit David. I don't think he's going to hit to the degree that Adam Frazier did and whatnot, but you can use an Adam Frazier. You can use a guy who can get some hits, be a utility guy. Right. Like that's probably this guy's ceiling is going to be. If I can come up here and just be a utility player on the bench, you're going to need him. So we'll see with that. But yeah, very, very safe in this sense, like you mentioned. I think we lost you. Everyone's leaving me on these shows. Tyler left me. Now Neil's leaving me. Thank God, Anthony Murphy. New Mitch Jeb. There you go. Well, then I guess we'll just get down to our last pick. And it's funny because Neil and I share the same sentiments. Derek Berg. don't know much about. So he comes from Army West Point. He is a catcher, 6'3", 200. I think this comes from Alex Stump. I think he said he had a 28-game on base streak to end the season. He batted like 300, like 15 home runs his last season. That's really all I know. I can't really say much to him. But kudos to Derek Berg getting drafted. I think he's the highest drafted player from Army since like 2007, I think it was, or something like that. Anthony Murphy says that's my thought on him. So yeah, I'm right on line. But that rounds it out. And again, it's the 10th pick in the draft. It's a catcher. Pirates get another catcher added to the crop. I don't know if there's really a whole lot of intrigue in there, but he had a fine season at Army for his last season there. And that wraps up the day. So picks 3 through 10, all done. We kind of gave our synopsis at the front end of the show. I thought pretty highly of the draft. I liked it. It was a mixture of things. Again, I felt there was a lot of players that were undervalued to some degree that they capitalized on, while also going best available, if not. And overall, like I said, it's an influx of players, a wide range of players so far, but a lot of high school kids, which is normally not the case. Seems like Neil's trying to get back on. There he is.
Hello.
We're wrapping it up. I talked about Derek Berg.
Yeah, the speed.
All the fine points I know about Derek Berg.
Yeah, it is the speedy catcher from Army. Yeah. I mean, I think someone jokes like that's just going to be Paul Skeen's battery mate.
That's how I looked at it too. Like maybe Paul was like, you know what, bring that guy in. I like him. And they're like, yes, Paul. Yes, Mr. Skeens.
Well, it's like
at this point in time, you're listening to whatever Paul tells you to do.
Air Force Gumbo, Livy Dunn. yes, sir, Mr. Skeens.
Right.
No, but no, the tail end with the thoughts that I heard you wrapping up. Yeah, a solid draft. I don't think it's like an amazing draft. I don't think it's like people are going to look at this draft and like, wow, like the Pirates killed it. But love Connor Griffin, love some of the arms we got, and surprisingly liked a couple of the bats that we got. So it was I think it's a solid draft so far. And then we'll see what tomorrow leads, because tomorrow's really where like I like to think that I know more about like prospects and like the draft process than a lot of people, but when we're getting to Derek Berg, my my knowledge kind of drops off a cliff.
Right. Yeah. Well, tomorrow will be interesting because now tomorrow's 11 through 20. So if anyone struggled today, good luck tomorrow. So I guess that pretty much wraps it up here. But that's my thoughts. Again, right now was finding the eye on talent. The next stage after this is developing the talent. And that's going to be the biggest task, I think, for this organization to find out who they are.
Yeah, hopefully it goes better than the last guys. So, but fingers crossed.
As Mark says that there was no Gymalytics on this show. I do apologize. Hope we gave you the best that we could do, though. And we might be back tomorrow, to wrap up day 3 as well.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sweet. Well, we out of here, Neil?
I think so. I think we're out of here.
Let's do it then. As always, appreciate everyone for watching on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever else we are. I think I said them all.
I think so.
But we'll
TikTok?
be back maybe tomorrow. If not, we'll definitely be back on Thursday for NS9. NS9 Live. And Friday when baseball returns. So we'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.